Today is Sunday, August 3rd. Time for another Buoy 10 update. We went out into the ocean today, like I mentioned in yesterday's update, because the river was not good to me, even though it was good to some. So today, we went out, got salty, had a crew that really wanted to get out there and get into a bunch of coho, and that's exactly what happened. So we went out started at about 70 feet of water, just due west of the lighthouse, and that worked out okay. We actually found more fish, between 100 to 140, but we ran out of them. So what I was noticing what these fish were doing is, as the day went on, and maybe it was boat pressure time of day or they just felt like it, they would drop down in the water column. So they would come up, start feeding, and then all of a sudden they drop in the water column, and even though I would try and chase them down there, go 40, 50, 60, 80 on the counter, they would not bite. So you just had to wait for them to click on, and it seemed like we troll for a half hour, 45 minutes, nothing, and then all of a sudden here they all come, and we land 5 in 10 minutes. It was just little flurries like that, and it had less to do with location and more to do with just the fish wanting to engage, wanting to interact with the gear. And that kind of just went on and off, on and off. We got into a handful of short chinook, a couple that we could have kept, but we're getting some nice great coho, so we were kicking those back, and a handful of wilds as well, and just kept on bumping around. Well, our bite completely died between 120 to 150, and the best fish finder out there are other fishermen. So we're looking around at the other boats. No one's catching fish. No nets are swinging. It's time to leave. It's the ocean. You should be catching fish. If there's 50 boats around you, no one's catching anything, get out of there. So that's what we did. We ran back inside and a little bit south towards the green line, and dropped in, put down the active target, and the first thing I noticed before we even got lines in was, man, there are jellyfish everywhere, and jellyfish will ruin your gear. The only way to get jellyfish off is by using a microfiber towel, and you can see my towels, probably if I can find one. Look at all that jellyfish on there. No matter how hard you clean them, you're just covered up in jellyfish the whole time. So those little microfiber towels are definitely the way to try and clean up your gear when you get into the jellies. But jellies were the bad part. The good part was that it was just an obscene amount of fish in those jellyfish. But we could not keep our gear working long enough to get those fish to come up. They come up and look, and they see all the jellyfish on the hooks and on the gear and on the flasher. Gone. They're out of here. So I decided to move back out towards about halfway between where we started and where we ran inside to, at about 100, 120 feet of water, and just found a spot, a little bit of a rip. Like, well, here's as good a place as any. Put the active target back down, saw that there were hardly any jellyfish whatsoever. Excellent. Put them down, found a couple of fish. We got 3 or 4 keepers within 5 minutes. Like, oh boy, here we go. We're looking for Casper. Casper's our last fish because he's a ghost. So hard to get Casper. It's almost impossible. And he was. It took us over an hour to find Casper between losing fish, wild fish, etc. We finally got him. But, I mean, shoot, it's the ocean, so we were still done before noon. Lots of people out there, and that's probably because the river's a little bit slower. But I will say, this was interesting. I don't really have too many river reports for you because I haven't talked to folks quite yet. But the river, when I was coming back in from the salt, going up along the bottom of the sands there, from basically Ilwaco, Chinook, all the way up along the sands as it comes up towards Checkerboard. There were probably, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 boats there, and I saw 3 or 4 nets. And the water temperature was exactly where I like it. If you watched yesterday's update, I was struggling with water temp and how hot of water I was in. So when I was coming back in, I saw the water temp I liked, which on my screen is about 68.5. On your screens is probably 66, right around there. Mine, just talking to everybody else, sounds like mine runs about 2 degrees hot. So it was good to see a couple of nets swinging as we were coming back inside. As far as what worked out there, I mean, it's the ocean, just about anything works. But again, today, the YBC cut plugs and the smoke jumper was doing really good today. Depths on line counter really doesn't matter. Like I mentioned, when they want to play, they come up and just engage. And that smoke jumper one was good, the cut plug, and of course Misty River. Misty River is always my number one out in the ocean. Well, I don't know, kind of short, sweet, to the point, but that's what we got out here, especially when you just fish the ocean. So with that, I'm gonna get back, get the boat all cleaned up, just got her fueled up, ready for the next few days. Not sure what's gonna happen tomorrow. Not sure if I'm gonna be in the river or out on the salt, but we kind of We might only have 1 or 2 more days out on the salt before that south wind blows, and oh boy, that'll push the fish around, but also makes it pretty lumpy out there. So we'll see. We always get a couple of days of southwest wind here in Astoria, and it makes it really hard to fish in the river and out in the ocean both. We'll see. It's supposed to come here Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday. I don't know. I hope they're wrong. That's one time I really hope that the meteorologists are wrong on this one. I don't want rain. Rain will empty out the harbor here. All the fish will shoot up. It's really honestly not that many fish here to begin with, but the fish that are here will bail, and that southwest wind is really tough. So Wednesday could be a tough day, which means that Thursday, Friday could be a little bit tough too. We'll see. Again, hopefully they're wrong. All right, drop carcasses off. Time to get back to the dock and finish cleaning the boat. Later.